Part 1 of 7, my friends, always the kickoff, never the halftime. And why? Because each video is a standalone crash course in sports photography for beginners, packed with 20 tips you can actually use. Watch one, watch them all, watch them backwards. It doesn't matter. You will still pick up the skills to shoot sharper, faster, and with less what just happened in your editing folder. Shooting into the light isn't just a challenge, it's a creative opportunity. A strong backlight can transform an ordinary sports scene into something cinematic. Think of players' edges glowing with golden light, or silhouettes frozen in a leap against the sky. Dust, sweat, or even mist in the air will catch that light and add atmosphere to your frame. The trick is to watch your exposure carefully. Backlighting can fool your meter into underexposing your subject. Use spot metering, exposure compensation, bracket your shots, and accept that you will need a little bit of trial and error. But when you get it right, the payoff is huge. A shot that feels like it belongs in a movie poster. Autofocus is amazing, but in sports, it's not perfect, especially when there's a lot happening between you and your subject. In busy, crowded moments, your camera might latch on to the wrong player or to an object in the foreground. This is where manual focus shines. If the action is predictable, a high jumper clearing the bar, a batter swinging at home plate, or a long jumper landing in the sand, pre-focus exactly where you know the action will happen and then wait. When the moment arrives, your subject will be sharp and ready without the delay of focus hunting. It's an old school skill, but one that is worth having in your toolkit. A photograph isn't just about what you put in the middle. The edges matter just as much. A strong frame considers everything within it, not just the subject. Are there awkward crops cutting off limbs? Distracting signs in the background? Or is there space that adds balance and context? Use the environment to help tell the story. A scoreboard showing the tense score, a crowd holding their breath, or a teammate waiting in the wings. Framing with intention takes your work from snapshots to storytelling, giving your audience an image that they can read, not just look at. Sports aren't non-stop chaos. They have a rhythm. For every explosive play, there's a pause, a deep breath before a sprint, a runner tying their shoe, a goalie leaning on their knees before a penalty kick. These are the moments that humanize the athletes and they add emotional weight to your coverage. They also provide a welcome visual break when you're building a series of images. Look for the tension in stillness. Sometimes the quiet before the storm tells more of the story than the storm itself. On a wide field or large court, it's easy to get disoriented, especially when the action moves so quickly. Having a visual anchor like a scoreboard, a goalpost, or a distinctive section of crowd helps you stay oriented and frame consistently. This also makes it easier for your viewers to understand where the action is happening. In a fast-paced game, you don't want to waste seconds figuring out where you are. Landmarks give you reference points so that you can react instantly and keep your composition sharp. If you ever get the chance to shoot sports during the early morning or late afternoon, don't waste it. The golden hour soft warm light wraps around your subjects, adding a natural glow that no filter can replicate. Shadows are longer, colors are richer, and everything feels more three-dimensional. It's also far easier to manage than the harsh, contrast-heavy light of midday. Position yourself so that the light hits players from the side or back for extra drama. Even simple shots, like a player walking across the field, can look magical in this light. Sports might look chaotic, but they're often built on repetition. Certain plays, formations, or player movements happen again and again. A forward might always cut inside at a certain moment, or a tennis player might have a signature serve routine. By spotting these patterns early, you can anticipate the next moment instead of reacting late. This lets you set your focus, exposure, and composition in advance so that when the action repeats, you're already in the perfect position to capture it. The difference between a flat photo and one that feels alive often comes down to layers. Think of your image in three parts: the foreground, the subject, and the background. Instead of isolating your subject against empty space, try using other elements to add depth. Say a blurred teammate in the front, the main player sharp in the middle, and the stadium crowd behind them. These layers guide the viewer's eye deeper into the scene and make them feel like they're right there in the moment with you. Don't be afraid to experiment with creative framing through nets, fences, or goalposts to add even more texture and context. In sports, the spotlight usually falls onto the scorer, the one who puts the ball in the back of the net or crosses the finish line first. But some of the most powerful storytelling comes from capturing the players who make those moments possible. The perfectly timed assist, the midfielder covering extra ground to win back possession, the goalie shouting instructions to organize the defense, or the quiet nod between teammates right before a play. These are the details that add richness to your coverage. By focusing on the unseen hero, you show the full ecosystem of the sport, not just the highlight reel. These images resonate because they feel authentic and layered, revealing the effort, strategy, and teamwork that often go unnoticed. No matter how experienced you are, every game you shoot is an opportunity to sharpen your craft. Sports photography is unpredictable. Different lighting, different venues, different challenges, different everything. And each scenario teaches you something new. Use games to test your reaction speed. Experiment with new camera settings or try an unfamiliar lens. Even small adjustments in technique can often pay off in a future shoot. Don't just review your best shots afterwards. Study the ones that didn't work too. Ask yourself, why did they fail? Was it timing, focus, composition? By treating every outing as a training ground, you're building instincts that become second nature, so that when the perfect moment comes, you're ready without even thinking. Before you even lift the camera, look at the light. Is it harsh and direct? Is it soft and golden? Is it mixed with shadows? Knowing the light tells you whether you need to adjust your settings for contrast, boost your ISO, or reposition for a better angle. This habit saves you from taking a dozen bad shots before realizing the problem wasn't your focus, it was the light. Sidelines are busy, coaches pacing, players warming up, vendors walking by. It's very easy to let background chaos ruin your composition. Take a half a second before you shoot to see what's behind your subject. A clean frame makes the action pop. Panning means moving your camera with a moving subject so that they stay sharp while the background blurs. It adds a sense of speed to your shots. Perfect for cycling, racing, or sprinters. Start slow at 1/40th of a second and work your way down until you find the sweet spot. When framing, scan the corners of your viewfinder. Weird elbows, half a head, or random signage can creep in and ruin an otherwise perfect image. Train yourself to spot these distractions before you press the shutter. In many sports, the opening minutes are pure adrenaline, fresh legs, full energy, and the optimism of a game not yet decided. Players move fast, take risks, and play with a looseness that can lead into exciting, unexpected moments. On the other end, the closing minutes are often completely different kind of drama. Desperation, exhaustion, and heightened emotions as time is running out. That's when you'll see frantic plays, last-ditch efforts, and raw reactions to victory or defeat. These bookends of the game offer rich photographic opportunities because the emotion is unfiltered. Be especially alert during these windows. You are more likely to catch expressions and body language that say more than the scoreboard ever could. You don't need a pro stadium to build your skills. Local youth games are an incredible training ground for your sports photography. The pace is a bit slower, giving you more time to anticipate and frame your shots. The sidelines are often closer, so you can experiment with angles and lenses without worrying about being in restricted areas. And the atmosphere, pure enthusiasm. Players, parents, and coaches, they wear their emotions openly. And it's also the perfect place to practice in different lighting and weather without the pressure of a big event. Also, as a bonus, your wallet will thank you. Admission and sideline snacks are almost always cheaper. It's tempting to pick one star player and follow them like a hawk, especially if they're involved in most of the big plays. But sports are full of side stories happening outside of the main action. Maybe it's a teammate celebrating before the scorer realizes the ball went in, or a coach's animated reaction to a referee's call. Keep scanning the field, even between plays, so you don't miss those unpredictable, unscripted moments. Sometimes the real magic is unfolding just outside of your frame, and if you're too locked in on one person, you're gonna miss it entirely. Fast action doesn't mean you can throw composition out the window. The rule of thirds, placing your subject off center, adds balance, energy, and flow to an image. In sports, it's especially effective when you position the athlete so that they're moving or looking into the empty space of the frame. This not only creates visual breathing room, but also adds a sense of motion and anticipation. Practice anticipating where the action will go so that you can position your frame accordingly. Even in the middle of fast play, with enough practice, composition becomes instinctive and your shots will have that extra polish. Lighting conditions can change the mood and the accuracy of your shots in an instant. Stadium lights can add strange color casts, sunsets can bathe everything in warm tones, and cloudy days can make images look flat and cool. Auto white balance can handle some of it, but for truly consistent results, take control and set it manually. This keeps your color steady from shot to shot, which is especially important if you're delivering a full gallery. Consistent color not only makes your work look more professional, but also saves you time in editing later. The ball is the central focus of most sports. It's the object everyone is chasing, passing, or defending. Including it in key moments instantly tells the viewer what's happening without the need for an explanation. A diving catch, a header, a last-second shot, the presence of the ball ties the moment together. That said, don't let it dominate every single frame. Some of the best shots are about emotion, reaction, or context, even if the ball isn't visible. The trick is knowing which moments demand the ball in frame and which tell the story just fine without it. And there you go, another kickoff wrapped, another part 1 complete. If you're still here, you're officially in the perpetual pre-game warm-up. Go check out the other part 1s. They're different tips, same energy, and remember, keep your elbows in and your eyes open.